You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is a September 3rd, 2024 meeting of the Michigan City Board of Public Works and Safety. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good morning, Michigan City. Today is Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. Hope everyone had a good holiday weekend. I'll call this Board of Public Works and Safety to order. And my first order of business is a roll call. Mr. Simmons?
Present.
Ms. Tisdale?
Present.
Ms. Smith?
Present.
Ms. Moore?
Present.
Attorney LePage?
Here.
And our clerk is here as well. And Mr. York is here as well. Our first order of business today is approval of minutes from regular hybrid Zoom meeting held on August 19th, 2024. Do I hear a motion or is there any changes to this?
Motion to approve.
Support.
Hear a motion and a second. I'll call for the roll. Mr. Simmons? Ms.
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you. Next order of business is the Michigan City Parks Department is requesting the approval of the Singing Sands Trail contract for Butler, Fairman, and Seifert supplemental agreement. Number 1, the amount is to not exceed $227,505.00.
Morning, Board. I'd just like to note this supplement to the contract does not change the monetary value of the contract. It's just moving money around in the different phases of right-of-way. So some of our right-of-way costs have gone up, so we had to adjust other areas of the contract.
Any questions of Director Eason? Any questions? Okay, I'll open up for public comment. Any public comment on this item? Anything online? Okay, we'll close public comment. Any other questions? Any concerns? Or do we hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Do I hear a second?
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Oh, you're up again. Next order of business is property acquisition. The Michigan City Parks Department is requesting the acquisition of property for the Singing Sands Trail Phase 3 D, Parcel 11, 2718 Duffy Lane. Can you tell us a little bit about what we're doing there?
Yes, so to complete phase 3 of Singing Sands Trail, the city needs to acquire 34 properties. I believe you approved 3 at your meeting on August 5th. So these are just going to continue to come in for the next several months. So this time we just have 1 parcel, and I would definitely recommend approval. This is being paid for by a grant. So it's 80-20, 20% city. And proof of funding, I believe, is just that it's in the grant. Is that correct, Tamiko? Yeah,
That is correct.
thank you.
Any other questions for Ms. Eason? Questions? Okay, I'll open it for public comment.
Hi, Tommy Kolovic, 1316 Ohio Street. You know, this property, this land, it's not within the city limits of Michigan City. It's in the town of Long Beach. I think we've acquired too many properties outside the city, most specifically back in 2001 for Patriot Park. You know, that I've always been, I have no use for Patriot Park. You know, I'm not a softball player. Our kids don't play softball. That kind of steals from our youth. But and the other thing, when we take these properties off of private ownership, if we take it off the tax rolls. So I think we really need to look specifically on what properties were taken. Thank you.
Any other public comments? Anything online, Drew? Okay, hearing no more public comment, seeing none, I'll close public comments. Entertain a motion.
Just for clarification, this is an easement, not a total acquisition. Yep.
Yeah. Yes, and the use of it will be our future trail. Yes. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Your second?
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you so much for bringing these, and well, we have a few more to go.
Back.
Oh yeah, you're on the right. You do so many roles, I forget. So, our next order of business is the contract. The Michigan City Public Art Committee is requesting the approval of an agreement for professional artistic services with Chris Silva for Pullman Park murals. Tell us a little bit about this. This is a really cool project.
Yes, so I'm also the treasurer of Michigan City Public Art Committee. Our goal for 23 and 24 is to move public art into our neighborhoods. The easiest way to do that for the city is to use park property. Just makes perfect sense. That's where people gather and we already own the property. The mayor has generously agreed to pay for this contract out of the ARPA beautification funds. So it's not coming out of Mac's budget. This particular artist just completed a mural at Gardena Park on the restroom and shelter building, and the neighbors just love it. It really brightens up the area. This contract will be to paint the sides, the vertical sides of all of the skate ramps at Pullman Park. So that will be highly visible to people coming in the Highway 12 corridor gateway. So we're really excited about this project. And the contract itself is a template that's been drafted and approved by your attorney, LePage.
Any questions from the board? Any questions from the board? Okay. I'll open up for public comment. Any public comment on this topic, this item? Anything online? Okay, I'll close public comment. Everything's in order with this, with the contract?
It is, just because we are using ARPA money, we'll have to have them sign a certification of non-debarment.
That was my one, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, we're good on that. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Support. I think it's refreshing to see these art displays move into the neighborhoods.
Absolutely.
It's an enhancements.
Excellent.
Second.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you so much. Our next order of business is a request for a stop sign. Coleman Moore, 201 Hoyt Street, is requesting a stop sign at the intersection of Barker Road and Elston Street. Mr. Moore here today? I don't see Coleman here. Coleman, are you online? Yeah. Okay, there you are.
Good morning. Hello?
Yes, go ahead, Coleman. You're on. Yep. Floor is yours.
Thanks. Hey, I'm here to request installation of a stop sign or temporary bump at the intersection of Barker Avenue and Elston Street. Some drivers, they speed around the curve, flying up the hill, and we got some drivers, but not all drivers. They also speed going down the hill to get down the hill faster. Installing a stop sign or temporary speed bump will help slow down traffic and make the area safer for residents, especially children and pedestrians. So I ask this board to consider this request for safety and well-being of our community. That's it.
Okay. Any discussion with Mr. Moore? Any questions of Mr. Moore? Gene?
I just like see like Corporal Wright is usually here. He needs to be taking these complaints back to the department so the district units can get out and address them and write citations.
Agreed. Tim, do you have thoughts on this one? Before we go too far?
Tim Werner, city engineer. Elston is a one-way northbound street crossing Barker. There's a stop sign and crosswalks for the east-west crossing Barker Ave, or crossing Elston. There's no crosswalks crossing north-south that cross Barker at this intersection. I think that's just around, this is a street view. You know, as we've stated many times before, stop signs are not a speed control device. They're just, if there's a warrant for too much traffic in an intersection to keep the intersection clear, then you place stop signs at this. Since it's a one-way street, northbound Elston movement already has a stop sign and a stop bar. I don't recommend installing stop bars or stop signs on Barker at this location.
So it sounds like more of a enforcement
for speed, yes.
issue. Any other questions from the board on this topic? I'll open up for public comment.
Yeah, Tommy Kolovic, 1316 Ohio Street. Now, I've mentioned before, I think, none of you are really new here, none of you 5 board members. I think we all recall that back in 2009, when Dr. Carla Iacona was the superintendent of the Michigan City Schools, there were a number of programs that had to be cut from the schools, and one of those was driver's education. We need to bring driver's education back in the schools. What you learn when you're a new driver kind of teach you through the years. I remember back in the 80s, I had driver's education back when I was in Portage. It's like these new drivers, as they get in their 20s, they begin habitual traffic violations that kind of affects their adult life. I just, once again, we just put the 4-way flashing stops at Barker and Ohio Street just a block over, and I really don't think this is necessary to have this done. So it just needs to be denied. Thank you.
Any other public comments? Anything online, Drew? I don't see any. Okay, I'll close public comments. It sounds like this is more of an enforcement issue from what I'm hearing. Maybe I think that the appropriate response would be to send us to Corporal Wright to have him look into this and maybe report back to us his thoughts, or at least see what type of if there are some enforcement issues there that can be done. I don't know if there's space to put the flasher or whatever, or the speed truck or whatever, or speed camera or whatever that thing is. Yeah, so I think the appropriate motion would be to move to refer this to Corporal Wright and then let him get back to us at the next meeting. Does that sound like an appropriate motion?
Hopefully we'll be advised that there's officers out there writing citations.
Correct. And I'll try to have a discussion with Chief as well about this. Yes, please.
Motion to refer this to Corporal Wright, for a response back at our next meeting.
Okay.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons. Call for the vote, Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Okay. So yeah, me confuse everyone. Ms. Tisdale.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. And we'll have Corporal Wright get back to us at the next meeting. Our next order of business is a request for flashing stop sign. Matthew Rosinski of 806 Liberty Trail is requesting a flashing stop sign at the northbound and southbound sides of the intersection of Liberty Trail and 8th Street. So Mr. Rosinski, oh, there you go. While we're at it, please introduce yourself and give us make sure we got the address right. Sorry.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. My name is Matthew Rosinski. My address is 806 Liberty Trail here in Michigan City. I am here today requesting that a flashing stop sign be installed north and southbound on Liberty Trail at the intersection of 8th Street in front of Krieger Memorial Hall. There are several reasons for this. The first being, it is a bus stop, not only for the city's Ride the Waves bus, but also this is a bus stop, a school bus stop, no less than 6 times a day. I am there from 15 to 20 minutes a day from around 8:05 to 8:25, depending on when the bus arrives. Last week alone, in that time, I counted 37 vehicles that rolled through the stop sign that is currently there at a speed greater than a walking speed. Sadly, this included a Michigan City police vehicle. It is a common occurrence to see vehicles roll through the stop sign at speeds between 10 and 15 miles an hour. This occurs even when there is a marked police vehicle in the Krieger Hall parking lot. In the 3+ years that this has been the kids' bus stop, I have never seen anyone pulled over regarding this issue. This section of Liberty Trail is a 15-mile-an-hour zone due to the park, yet people commonly travel at speeds between 35 and 45 miles an hour, especially southbound. When traveling at these speeds, it frequently happens that, well, it is clear the driver had little intention of slowing down, let alone stopping, until they see me, the kids, and another parent standing on the corner. When this happens, we see the front end of the vehicle drop down as the brake is matched to the floor. There are no sidewalks along Liberty Trail, and people frequently walk their dogs along the road to utilize the walking trails at the park. If there was an improved stop sign at the intersection of Liberty Trail and 8th Street, it could make it safer for people to do this. This has become a public safety issue. Liberty Trail is commonly used as a through route for people going from Michigan Boulevard to Highway 12 and vice versa. As such, it is a heavily traveled road. Absent enforcement of the rules of the road as it is currently configured, placing a flashing stop sign north and southbound will let people know that their transgressions have been noticed and steps are being taken to correct them. I humbly request that a flashing stop sign be installed north and southbound on Liberty Trail at the intersection with 8th Street. Doing so might save a life. Thank you for your time.
Any questions of Mr. Rosinski? Board have any question?
Mr. Rosinski?
Yes.
I think you were very clear in your description of the issues over there. And there's currently stop signs in both directions now,
Yes,
correct?
there's a three-way stop.
So, I mean, I really don't know or think that the flashing lights honestly are gonna make people slow down, but I don't have a problem with asking for that. But I think the enforcement part is really the issue. And hopefully we can maybe get something from Corporal Wright regarding that. Oh, Corporal
Hey,
Wright,
Corporal Wright.
hi. So, thank you.
Thank you.
I tend to agree with that too. I see flashing lights and I see people roll through them as well. The ones downtown. So
I concur.
I think more of a let's post someone out there and have them maybe ticket, and that will probably stop people from doing it.
You mentioned about having the like a speed camera with the flashing lights. Like I see one out by Queen of All Saints or St. Mary's
Yeah.
on Barker. I think something like that on the southbound lane would also improve. There's room there for that.
Yeah. Corporal Wright, I know you just came in. The issues that did you hear the issue? Okay. So it sounds like more of a enforcement issue than to have Sean take down and replace and things of that nature. It's just so.
Okay.
Let's finish up here. I'll open up for public comment.
Yeah, Tommy Kolovic, 1316 Ohio Street. I don't think this is necessary. We only have so many of these solar powered lights, the stop sign lights, the flashing lights to go around. They're very expensive and they have to be maintained. I know the solar panel has to be constantly cleaned in order to keep them functional. You know, you see a lot of these signs, the speed, you know, how fast you're going with the radar light on. A lot of times you see those don't function. You know, it takes a lot to maintain those. So, you know, I just think that this isn't right for this here. What I might suggest do, maybe they have the neighbors put up like Ring doorbell or floodlight cameras on there to catch something. I know I put one up. I swapped out my front porch light and put up a Ring doorbell camera, mostly to monitor the actions and some of the motorists and pedestrian behaviors on Ohio Street, and it's worked out really well. Thank you.
Any other public comments? None online. I'll close public comments. So I think what we've determined is that this is more of an enforcement issue. Could we refer this to Corporal Wright to look into and get back to us at our next meeting? I'm not sure about how the speed camera works or if it would even do any good. It sounds like more or less just posting, or maybe someone just posts up there. And we just do some enforcement that way. So I think our appropriate motion would be to refer this to Corporal Wright to see if there's any type of enforcement we can issue there, and then get back to us at our next meeting. Do I hear a motion to that effect? Or I can make the motion? Can I make the motion? Okay, so I motion that we refer this to and refer this to Corporal Wright as an enforcement issue, and that he will get back to us at our next meeting if there's a camera or something that gets put out there or something like that. Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Do a second.
Support. Just encourage that officer setting off the side there to stop some of those
Yeah.
motors, right warnings, and
Yeah, it sounds like that's more of it rather than speeding. I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
aye.
Miss Tisdale,
Aye.
Miss Smith,
Aye.
Miss Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. We appreciate it. Our next order of business is a request for traffic signage. Michael Bigda, 112 Orchard Street, is requesting rough track signage at all South Shore crossings. Mr. Bigda.
Good morning. I'm really nervous. Michael Bigda, 112 Orchard Street, Michigan City, Indiana. Not all the signs, it's just Ohio and 11th Street, Wabash and 11th Street, Washington Street and 11th Street, and Franklin Street. Those are the new crossings that South Shore installed there when they upgraded the track there. Michigan Boulevard and Vale Street and all them, there's all the same. It's just that when you drive over the tracks, they're rough. A sign would be appropriate because, you know, I think they're really rough. Before South Shore put their upgrades in, the tracks were fine. They were actually easy to go, even walk across, as I do quite often. But it's just that those tracks are really quite rough. I mean, they're not as rough as C&O and Woodland Ave, but they're just as bad. They're in that same category. So what the South Shore did, I have no idea. They just made the tracks with a wider gap. There's no smoother, like the Amtrak's over there on, I realize that's Amtrak there, or even the C&O tracks at Franklin Street there by the Hegwish Harrison Street. So I just think that rough railroad, so the cars could slow down. I realize it's 30 miles an hour, but you travel across 30 miles an hour, it's quite noticeable in your car than what they were previously.
Any questions or Mr. Bigda? Because board have any questions? Tim, have you looked into this one at all? All right, Tom. Okay.
I mean, have you noticed it? I mean, everybody's been driving on there. No one's noticed it. You just think it's the same as before?
Yeah, it feels the same to me.
Oh,
Yeah. So.
All right, I'll speak up. I drive it quite often, and usually I'm aware of it, and I usually slow down because you have to slow down anyhow to make sure there's no train coming.
of course.
So I slow down and look both ways and proceed with caution.
Absolutely. Yeah, me as well. Any other comments from the board? I'll open up for public comment.
Oh, yeah, Tommy Klavic, the 1316 Ohio Street. Before we proceed with anything but regarding the South Shore, we need to get the quiet zone established. The council, we approved $200,000 out of the ARPA money to implement the quiet zone. Gene, that's you when you were on the council, you approved that. They still got the black plastic bags over the signs that say no train horn. Even Mayor Angie brought this up at one of our workshops. We need to get the quiet zone established. Not that I was for the quiet zone, but now that we have it, we need to put it into play. Thank you.
Any other public comments? Anything on law, Drew? Oh, they put it down. Okay. Hearing none, I'll close public comments. Is there any other thoughts from the board?
My only thought is, so Ohio on 11th, Washington on 11th, Franklin and 11th, right? Is I think what he referred to.
Yeah.
There's also a new crossing further down on the west side, at Willard, right? And at Sheridan. Now, those are the ones that I travel more often. I know they get forgotten, but they were done as well, and they're also new. But I don't notice any difference going over those than I do on any of the other ones. As comparable to, like you said, on Woodland, where we know it's obviously.
Yeah, that's a.
So I don't know, Tim. Is there, I mean, I don't know if you can look into it or whatever, but I really don't know what is to look into that would cause as much difference as what he's thinking.
I'm not sure either. I travel over those crossings all the time and I think they're much better than many other crossings in other cities and other places. So, I mean, they are new. If, Mr. Bigda thinks there's an issue with them, he could write a letter to Mike Nolan at NICD and say, hey, why is there such seemingly low quality of these crossings that you put in? And see where that goes, because we have no control over what the railroads do either. But to put signage up, I think is, there's already advanced signage. It's a railroad crossing coming up, so everyone knows they're not smooth, but that's a railroad crossing. You're going over the metal rail with the gap for the wheels, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to put signage up just to put signage up because you are notified in advance of those crossings. So I tend to agree with Mr. Simmons. You slow down and go over. What's the any other discussion? Pleasure of the board.
Motion to deny.
I'll second that. I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Support.
Mr. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. All right, our next order of business is a solicitor vendor license request. Reliance Restoration, 502 Morse Ave, Schaumburg, Illinois, is requesting a solicitor vendor license for 1 year for roofing, siding, and gutter repair. Are they here today? Are they online? I don't see anyone online.
Mr. President, if I may.
Yes,
The
please.
application is incomplete. They
Oh.
are missing their articles of incorporation that needs to be attached.
I should have just asked.
Okay.
So, thank you for that. So with that, are we holding, have they made a request to continue this or hold this? Have they been notified and?
They've been notified that it was on the agenda today. They were included in the email, and I had let them know that, we do like people to be at the meetings, and I've not heard anything. I've only spoke to them over the phone, and they emailed this request in, so
Okay.
I've never spoken to anybody in person.
Okay.
Also, I apologize about the articles of incorporation.
Well, yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so A, I want to deny this, but B, I just wonder how it even got on the agenda if it's not complete in the first place. But that would be irrelevant at this point, so I don't think we can move further, and they don't have anyone here to speak for them as well. And my motion would be to deny.
Is that an official motion?
It is.
So a second?
Support.
There you go. I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons? Aye. Mr. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. So, I guess if they call, just let them know they pretty much got to start over.
I was gonna send them a letter.
You're good. All right, our next order of business is payrolls docket for August 23rd, 2024. This is the city payroll. Do I hear a motion to approve for this one?
Motion to approve.
Do I hear a second?
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons? Aye. Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Our next order of business is our claims docket. This is a claims docket for September 3rd, 2024. Do I hear a motion to approve for this?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second? I'll support. Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons? Aye. Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. I don't see our special events planner here today. They're probably wore out from working all weekend, so we'll give them a break today. And get maybe a report back on the event at the next meeting. Updates from Flaherty and Collins. I don't see them here today either. I can give you a small update that I'm being told that by the end of September we will be done with lifting of the precast concrete and placement of the precast concrete, which is a big accomplishment. I did tour the building. The building looks in very good shape. We had kind of a 50% done tour or stacked tour. It's a very intricate building, but it is a really cool building of how it's constructed. Next order of business is updates from the Parks Department, but Shannon pretty much gave us an update and she is no longer here, so we'll let her go as well. Our next order of business is unfinished business, a street enhancement. Councilman Don Prespolinski is requesting for the Board of Works to contact CSX for a projected start date to fix the railroad crossing at Woodland. This was tabled from August 19th, 2024, and I do believe our city engineer has reached out to them. Do you want to give a report?
Tim Warner, city engineer. Luke Matheny with Safety Services and Supply contacted me in May when CSX was getting ready to do all the improvements of all the crossings within the city. At that time, I had a schedule for, they were going to do 2 at a time coming from Tryon and Royal area coming into downtown and then heading west. For whatever reason, they skipped Woodland. I'm not sure. After the meeting, I contacted by email Luke Matheny. That's the only contact information I had with the Safety Service Supply, who was the sub for CSX. I have not received any reply from him at this time. I sent an email again this morning asking him for an update. We'll see. So I'll have to report back if I get any reply. Otherwise, we'll have to look at different avenues to try to contact CSX.
Would you like for us to keep this on here?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll talk about the next meeting and see if I can get a contact. If I don't hear from Luke this week, I'll try to find another contact with CSX.
Okay.
Tim, just real quick, I previously sent you an email with some addresses from the congressman, I believe. Do you still have that?
I do, yeah. That was
Okay.
from earlier, your last attempt.
I'm not sure if that would help you in any way with any contact, but
We'll see.
okay.
Thanks.
Any comments on this from the board?
I disagree that we should keep it moving because it's paramount that we get this done.
Yeah, it's weird that they skipped this one and did like the others. It's like, I don't know. Yeah. I was thinking maybe it was because they didn't want to close the road because it's such a heavily traveled road, but I would offer to them that we are very interested in closing the road to get this done. You have any thoughts? Oh, sorry. I saw you poised on here. So do I need to open this up for public comment? Yeah, we'll open it up for public comment. Any public comment? Okay, hearing none, I'll close public comment. I guess, do we need a motion to keep this on here? Maybe keep it moving forward? Okay, so do I hear a motion to the effect of, or I'll make a motion. I motion that we keep this on here till our next regular scheduled meeting, and let's give Tim an opportunity to hear back from Luke.
I'd like to amend it.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think, as Gene said, I think the urgency is, I feel like we kind of have had some emails in May, like Tim said. I think Attorney LePage has provided other emails. I just feel like we need to put the fire under it if there's some way to.
You want to advance this to the congressman's office? Is that what you would like?
Yes.
To do? Okay. Tim, I would say that we are making a motion to advance this to the congressman. I would like to amend my motion to include to add this to go ahead and advance this to the congressman's office. Let's at least send them a notification and get it on their radar.
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Okay. Next order of business is a traffic sign request. Councilman Don Prespolinski is requesting to install school crosswalk signage at Cool Spring Ave and Cleveland Ave. And I do believe Mr. Warner has some information on this one. And I do too.
Tim Warner, city engineer. Cool Spring and Cleveland, we recently installed the stop signs there on Cool Spring at that intersection. There's no north-south sidewalk crossing Cool Spring at this location. I know Officer Wright, I believe, in the Michigan City Police Department, we're going to be looking at the student travel across Cool Spring. We have school crossing at Tilden now, even though those signs have been removed. There's still the signs on each side of the intersection for that being a school crosswalk. Once you get, as we mentioned before, off Cool Spring, there is no sidewalk down to Edgewood or to Barker from Cool Spring. So since there's no ADA ramps, no sidewalks crossing at Cleveland at Cool Spring, I don't recommend this. But I know, like I said, Officer Wright is looking at the total number of pedestrian students and that they see crossing, and that's supposed to be happening today and tomorrow, if I remember right. But so I think we'll have to look into this again at the next meeting and get some response from police if they saw any traffic of students crossing at all. I live on Cool Spring. I've never seen students crossing. They get picked up by school buses on Cool Spring. The parents drop them off at Edgewood. I have never seen students crossing Cool Spring, but I'm not there every minute of the day. But anyway, so I think we'll get a report back from police to see what their traffic counts have been for pedestrian students crossing.
Yes, I see Corporal Wright sitting back there. I talked to Chief and the two chiefs, Corley and Forker. And so hopefully they relayed the message to Corporal. They were going to do a 2-day study. I believe it's either took place last week or hopefully this week, I assume, after the holiday. And then they were also going to reach out to the school to see how many kids live north of Cool Spring that may potentially walk, or from what I'm being told, they typically get bused there. There may be a few, but it may not be as heavily traveled as we think it is. I will try to reach back out to them this week and give them some time to give us a report back. Thank you. Any comments or questions of Mr. Warner or anyone from the board?
Well, I do know at the last board meeting, we had also suggested looking into possibly getting a crossing guard for that intersection. And if we got a crossing guard for that intersection right there, it would be relatively no different than Knapp Elementary School. We have a crossing guard at Indiana and Ohio, where there is no stop sign on Ohio stopping traffic. But we do have the crosswalks, we have the sidewalks, we just have a crossing guard there to assist students. So in my opinion, that would be the more logical approach, is to have the students go down to Tilden.
Yeah, and so before we go and put a crossing guard into a budget, we wanted to make sure that it even had the demand. If there's only 2 students or something like that, not that 2 aren't as important as the rest, but I'm just saying it just was a demand issue. So we thought putting a cop there to kind of count or watch to see what kind of that demand looked like was a better idea at this point. So I guess we would hold this over till our next meeting and give our police officers time to get back to us and give us maybe a report. I do know, like I said, they were reaching out to the school as well to see if they could get a head count of north of Cool Spring. So I'll make the motion that we hold this over till our next regularly scheduled meeting, and then give the chiefs and Corporal Wright time to get back with us on some of those things. Yeah, that's my motion.
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons? Aye. Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Next order of business is an inventory of traffic signage. Don Prespolinski is requesting the inventory of all snow route signage and to seek new informative signage. I see Mr. Smith out here. Good morning.
Good morning, Sean Smith, Street Director, City of Mission City. We have begun the process of installing these new snow route signs. We actually installed 40. We ran out. I need to see if we can get this on our first meeting in November. These are specially made signs, so it take a little bit of time to receive them. I think actually I'll order 100 more, so we should have this matter resolved by then.
Okay. So you want us to give you basically a month, our first meeting in November would be, that'd be plenty of time for you, Mr. Smith? Okay. Questions of Mr. Smith?
So that's the inventory, or you're just told?
That's the purchase. I'll have the inventory then as well, once everything's installed.
I mean, that's what he asked for.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll know where they're all at. We'll have an inventory. We'll know, and we'll also know they're all
Right.
new, essentially.
Right. Yes.
So that's a good starting point. Yeah. Do any public comment on this?
Oh, yes, Tommy Kolovic, 1316 Ohio Street. I'm really excited to hear this happening. You know, a lot of these snow route signs, they're totally roached out. I think a lot of them probably went up back when Sheila was the mayor, back when the time that Gene Simmons was the police chief. I said, especially around the 9th Street corridor, kind of between Ohio and Pine. They're just horrible looking. You know, that really gives a bad reflection of the city. You know, I would say, like, if mayor ordered, you know, that's a reflection on Mayor Angie. You know, let's say we just need to do more of the. I know there's some stop signs around the city that really need to be changed out. And thank Sean and the street department for doing all this. Thank you.
Any other public comments? Anything online? Okay, hearing none, I'll close public comments. So it sounds like Mr. Smith is asking us if we would table this until our first official meeting in November, and then have a report back on inventory and assurance that all new signs have been put up.
So moved.
For a second. Support. I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons. Aye. Ms. Tisdale.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for doing that. All right. Next order of business is John Traub of 107 Nevada Ave is requesting the following: no parking this side signage on the east side of Nevada Ave, parking line to be painted on the west side of Nevada Ave to facilitate angle parking. This was tabled from our August 19th, 2024 meeting, and we did, myself and Mr. Warner, we did meet with Mr. Traub on site, and I do believe Mr. Warner has a plan for moving forward. It's just been really getting time to go out there and do it.
Tim Warner, city engineer. Yeah, we did meet out there and met with Mr. Traub. I have not had a chance to get together with Sean to talk about that. I mean, he was on vacation, and that our first meeting was, and then I've been busy. And last week with the trees down everywhere, Sean's group was pretty busy. So we'll try to get together here this week. And I've got the layout of what you and I talked about, and talked with Sean about getting that. We didn't really talk about signage, but I think Sean, you can probably make a couple of no parking this side of the street and get those posted. But I'll try to set up a time, Sean, and I can go out there and look at getting some of this stuff laid out and see when you can do, and we'll report back at the next meeting.
And honestly, it's more of an organizational thing down there. It's really if we stripe, we can probably get more public parking in there and really just organize it better. It's just very unorganized where people are parking. It's a mess. And it's not the only one, but it's.
And when you and I were out there, we did notice that there were a few resident parking only signs on the west side, but I don't know that that's enforceable, or but I don't know who put those up and what point. But if we get the no parking signs put on the east side, I think that'll help clarify a lot of congestion in that area, and get the striping, the 4-inch no parking on the curb there on the east side.
I think that'll be the most important. Basically, we're going to stripe a curb down on the east side. That theoretically should take care of people parking there. So hopefully that'll help out.
Mr. Traub mentioned there were a lot of commercial vehicle drop-offs, and they were parking on the sidewalk, going over that curb onto the sidewalk, 4-foot sidewalk. So the line should help alleviate that, and at least give the police more of an enforcement basis.
with that, I'll open up for any public comments. Any public comments on that one? Any questions? Or I'm sorry, I should open it up for questions from the board on that one. Okay. Sorry. We'll continue public comments. Anything online? I'll close public comments. Any questions from the board? Okay, I'll make a motion that we continue this to our next meeting. Hopefully by then we should be met with Sean and have everything in order and laid out down there. So I'll make a motion that we table this to our next regularly scheduled meeting.
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons? Aye. Ms. Antisto?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. All right, our next order of business is just public comments, open public comments. Any public comments?
Yes, Tommy Klavick, 1316 Ohio Street. I just want to make a quick public service announcement that the county will be having another tax sale on October the 19th. It's going to be at the annex building of the LaPorte County Complex. There's usually maybe about a couple hundred parcels within inside the city that's usually going to be up for sale. If you skip through your payments, the county's going to sell your property. This is a good opportunity, maybe get some of these properties back on the tax rolls, and maybe there might be an open lot you might want to buy. You can have a place for your children to go play, or maybe build your own house on, or there might be some vacant structures that need to be fixed up. Here's a good chance to finally get that young adult out of your house. I just want to get past that along. Thank you.
Any other public comments?
Mike Bigda again, 112 Orchard Street. Getting back to that railroad crossing deal. I don't know, maybe did you ever drive on 11th Street before the CNO did the South Shore did all that construction? Remember how smooth it was going over the tracks there at 11th Street in Franklin, Sheridan Street, Willard Ave, Chicago Street? Remember how nice and easy it was to go over those tracks? 11th Street. Remember you could drive across 11th Street. I remember stopping a car for drunk driving, honking his horns on the, I'm sorry, I'm a retired police officer, going across the 11th Street tracks or honking his horn, flashing his lights because these cars were right on top of the tracks there, driving around across there on 11th Street there between Michigan Boulevard and down to Franklin Street. Those tracks were smooth to go over. And now you're telling me, oh, well, I haven't noticed anything with those new tracks? I think you have. All right. And then also the second thing I want to bring up is about the crossing there at the Cleveland Ave and Cool Spring Ave. No one crosses the street there. The kids get out of school. It's on Boyd Circle. They go across Boyd Circle to Cool Spring. That stop sign is in the wrong spot. It should have been over there by Boyd Circle and Cool Spring, because that's where the kids come out. They're not going to go down a block and go to Cleveland Ave. They're going to go the shortest possible distance. I would. And there's kids that go across there. I live on Orchard Street there. I'm on the west side of Edgewood School. I see those kids crossing the street. Nobody goes walking down Cool Spring Ave on the south side of Cool Spring Ave to get to Cleveland to go across. You're going to go to the shortest possible route, which is straight down Boyd Circle and to Cool Spring Ave. They're not going to go go down a block and go across. Nobody does that. You wouldn't do that in Chicago. You're not going to go across, you're going to go to the shortest crosswalk straight. You're not going to go across and then back. It's the shortest distance possible. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Anything online, Andrew? Anything? Any other public comment? Okay, I'll close public comment. I'll have board comments. Any board comments? I do have a couple announcements I want to make. Coming up this week, we will start the Franklin Street conversion, two-way street conversion. It'll start this week, be slow at first, but then it'll ramp up. Right now, there are, and all of our businesses on Franklin Street have received a letter at this time, either personally hand delivered or sent to them from Global Engineering, our consultants, and they are setting up meeting times for anyone who would like to come in and meet with them. Those meeting times are Tuesday, September 3rd, so today, Wednesday, September 4th, Thursday, September 5th, Friday, September 6th. They're also going to plan on 2 additional meetings on the 9th and the 10th, and those meeting times will be from 3 to 5, and they will be held at 601 Franklin Street. What they will speak to you about, if you have concerns, are the two-way conversions, the flipping of parking, what it looks like in your block. They'll actually have drawings of your blocks, so you can see what your block is going to look like once it's transitioned. Also, if you would like to receive text message alerts, you can do that as well. Let's see here. I'm not so good with the text messaging thing. Let's see, if you would like to opt in for SMS text message alerts about updates and changes in construction activity, please text MC2024, no spaces, to 833-236-7421. Or you can visit our Facebook page. We will have this posted on there as well today. I'll get this to Kelly. You will text MC2024, no spaces, to 833-236-7421. And that is capital M and a capital C 2024. And that should give you some updates. Other updates from me as well. If there are broken sidewalks or dead street trees or things in the right of way that can be, rather than bringing them to the board, just make sure that we're getting them to the appropriate departments first. I would say that you have a very responsive departments now who are about getting things done for our city, and they're different than before, let's just say that, and they're getting things done. So rather than bringing small things to the board and making those requests, just send them on to the departments. If we don't get something, if 2 or 3 months go by, then we can take action. But let's give our departments time to react to those rather than bringing them everything to the board. If that would be okay with the public, and then if it's vector, you're going to contact Mr. Brett Kelly. If it's streets, you're going to contact Mr. Smith. And then if it's sidewalks or something needs to be replaced, Mr. Warner can help take care of all that. Mike Wolf is your your arborist, so you'll get it to the respective departments. Give them time to react. Give them a chance to get out there and get the thing fixed, because they're really good department heads. Any other board comments?
Sorry, is it
No.
possible for Global to send the board the plans that they have that they be sharing with the businesses and stuff? I mean,
Absolutely.
that's it.
Yep, we can do that. That way, if we get asked, we know. Absolutely. Yes. Good idea. I will make sure that we have those, and we'll get them to you. I'll get them to Isabel, and we'll get them to everyone. That way, if we get asked, because we tend to get asked a lot of things out in public, and that way we can react to those and have the knowledge we need. So, any other comments? Okay, hearing none, I'll close board comments. Here, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We are adjourned. Thank you.